So I remember when I was coming out, or it's like we don't really even know that we're coming out until after we've come out. But I remember when I was in that kind of uncomfortable process, like if you've ever watched a snake literally getting ready to shed its skin, their eyes get kind of cloudy and they start to move in a way where you can tell they're just uncomfortable in their bodies. It's disorienting. I don't think they know what's going to happen to them. And that's what I felt when I was realizing that I wanted to leave behind the life that I had constructed that was very much organized around being in intimate relationships with men, being attractive to men, being attracted to men. Um, as a typical heterosexual woman and having witnessed my mother live that life as well, I just felt like straightness was the water that I swam in. And so when I first met a lesbian and then started thinking about, would I be potentially attracted to women? And then realized that I was. And then I was in a relationship with a man at the time and I started to feel dissatisfied and I started to really think about what it would be like to be with women. And I felt really drawn to women's bodies, but also to a sense of the greater emotional intimacy and the greater equality that I sensed I would get to have in a relationship with a woman. And I also felt drawn to the greater levels of freedom in this society. Because for me personally, being a heterosexually identified woman, I felt so much pressure to look certain ways, dress certain ways, do certain things like, the shaving, the waxing, the makeup, the plucking, the this, the that. And there's nothing wrong with doing any of those things, right? If you're doing it because you want to, but it was the social expectation that I was supposed to that really was hard for me. My cat is here. Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Yellow. Mr. Yellow knows lesbians from all over the world, and sometimes he shows up on the Zoom calls. Yes, hi, sweet pea. So, I still remember what it was like. I had some acquaintances at the time who were lesbians, and I remember looking at them and feeling like they existed on the other side of the Grand Canyon. I could not imagine how they had gotten there and how they managed to live on that other side. So when I went to my first LGBTQ meeting, that was before the community had reclaimed the word queer, and the Q at the time stood for questioning. I remember I was very clear, like, hey, I'm just Q, I'm just questioning. And then a little while later, I got to kiss a woman in that group, and I stopped having so many questions because the answers started getting clearer to me. Here's Mr. Yellow's tail. So in the academy, I have designed the programs really from an awareness, a memory of what that vulnerability was like, what it was like for me personally to walk that road. And I've also gotten to speak with hundreds of other women walking that road. One of my colleagues, Anne Marie Zonzel, has a great line. She says, straight women don't lie in bed at night wondering if they might be gay. I love that because I think it's so true that if you're even questioning, there's a reason behind it. But there is no mold you have to fit in. I feel really strongly about the fact that for me, and it's been 41 years now since I came out, I'm 61, that was when I was 20, being lesbian or being queer, as I also now identify, has always been about freedom. The freedom to live as I feel in my heart, in my body, is congruent for me. It is not about fitting into a box. It is not about letting anybody define me. And so the Conscious Girlfriend Academy is a space that is really welcoming to all women who love women or want to, and all adjacent non-binary people. So whether you're questioning your sexuality, you're questioning your gender, you're arriving at more expanded understandings of your sexuality or your gender, this is a space where you can be safe to do that, safe to be in a process of discovery and ongoing alignment with your deep self. So look forward to seeing you soon. Okay, bye-bye.